As a trader, I often remind myself we're looking for value. Our job is not to be sitting here trading 50 times a day, constantly looking for a new trade. Every 5 minutes, that is not what we're doing. And I remind myself I'm looking for value because that is the core principle of what being a trader entails. Having the value mindset can be in the form of buying a property for cheap, renovating it, and selling it at a premium. Buying a crypto, looking for a new all-time high. Buying classic cars, renovating them, and selling them. Value mindset is simply looking for an asset that should or could be trading higher, and you want to take advantage of that. I trade with a value mindset every single day. Every day I turn up at this very desk, I ask myself, what is an asset that I can get involved in or buy that should or could be trading in a certain direction? How can I capitalize on that? That is a value mindset. Try and remember that. As we come to an end of Q1 2024, I think I found the trade which is going to be my trade of the year for 2024, and I'm going to be sharing it in this video. Guys, I hate to interrupt such a good video, but I've just launched a 7-day workshop. You can get free access. Make sure you're in my free Telegram, and also comment the word workshop on this video, and I'll make sure you get access. See you. Enjoy the video. Peace out. Right, so I'm not going to share the charts just yet, but I'm going to be speaking about this for a second. The yen. I personally feel the yen is massively oversold, and I feel the yen is going to be gaining strength over the next 9 months of the year. We're already approaching the end of March, and I do feel that there is a possible policy change from the Bank of Japan, and it's something I'm not going to miss. And it's something I recommend you keep on the radar. Throughout the entirety of 2023, there were constant hints at a policy change from the Bank of Japan as we saw a changeover from the old governor to Kazuo Ueda, which is now the Bank of Japan governor. Back in 2016, the Bank of Japan cut interest rates, putting them in negative territory at negative 0.1%. The last interest rate hike that the Bank of Japan had was back in 2007. Just pre-GFC, the global financial crisis. Now, I've shared my opinion before on how I feel markets are going to unfold, especially into 2024, end of 2024, early 2025. And with that being said, this is a perfect opportunity for the Bank of Japan to not only seize the fact that the Fed could be pausing and cutting rates very soon, but also seizing this opportunity to get out of negative territory in their rates and possibly hike interest rates. Now let me run through some numbers with you. Dollar yen USD JPY is currently trading at a 34-year high. Although we've had 3 attempts at the 150 handle, I feel this is a local top for the pair, and it's something I'm going to be closely monitoring. So let's review that for a second. 17 years ago, the Bank of Japan was the last time they raised rates. We are at a crucial level in global markets right now, and we have dollar yen trading at a 34-year high. Why is dollar yen at such a high level? We've had the Federal Reserve raising interest rates more aggressively than they ever have in history. But you've also had a Bank of Japan which has been stubborn in raising rates. Bank of Japan has often been known as a lender, as a cheap currency to borrow because of those interest rates. This has often been to stimulate the economy. However, seeing as they're a net exporting country, they have to take control of their currency. And I feel over the next couple of months, that is going to be a key crucial part and a pivotal moment in dollar yen. So what am I looking to do for the rest of 2024? If I know the Federal Reserve have peaked on their interest rates, now at 5.5%, if the Bank of Japan are threatening to get out of negative territory on their rates, that is a big opportunity for dollar yen to be trading much lower. If the Federal Reserve pause or hint at cutting rates at their meeting in the next couple of days, that could hint for dollar yen to be trading lower. Combine that with the fact that the Bank of Japan are threatening to come out of negative territory in their rates. Folks, in the trading world, that's what I call a perfect double whammy. We have the yen, which is extremely weak right now, which has put dollar yen up at 30-year highs. If that changes, what are we going to expect? A large move. Let me quickly show you on the charts. Right guys, I'm on the monthly time frame now on dollar yen, and I just want to show you how strong of a level this is. We haven't traded at this price since the 1990s. So let's unwind why we're actually here. We've had the Bank of Japan again, providing unlimited amounts of stimulus, which weakens the yen. But on the other hand, you've had the Federal Reserve raising interest rates more aggressively than they ever have in history. Again, that's a double whammy to the upside for dollar yen. However, the reason why I'm so focused on dollar yen is because that could be changing. We could have the Federal Reserve pausing rates, which they have already, but signaling cuts. The first rate cut already priced in for June this year. Again, the Federal Reserve remain extremely data dependent. So depending on how inflation plays out, of recent we have seen inflation starting to creep back up to the upside. However, if that starts to change, dollar yen is really on focus for me for the next 9 months of this year. So looking at dollar yen there, what's my focus? My focus on a very clean chart is knowing that we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts and 3 reversals out of 150. The Bank of Japan has been notorious for providing yen intervention in the yen, and that will be in the form of buying their own currency. We saw it back in 2022. We saw it in 2023 where they're buying their own currency. Actually, I need to correct myself there. Back in 2023 there where we had the peak, this was just fear that the Federal Reserve was done, and that largely caused that move pretty much for the end of the year. Coming into the start of the year, I'm sure you've watched my video already, I was buying dollar yen back up to the upside because I knew there wasn't a change in stance from the Fed. However, with this constant hint and this constant threat from the Bank of Japan, they're going to be coming out of negative territory in their rates, it could signal a large move. So again, just to show you this on the daily time frame, I currently have some price action drawn on here for a potential continuation trade to the downside should we have a leg into 150. Again, I'll draw this alert with you all on this video. I'd love to see dollar yen spike into 150, but I'm going to be prepared for 2 scenarios. This coming week, right now it's the 17th of March, in exactly 2 days time, we have the Bank of Japan, right? Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Could they be coming out of negative territory in the rates? Maybe. But then we also have the Federal Reserve on the Wednesday, the day thereafter. So it's like, battling 2 giants here. So we really need to remind ourselves of where we are. We need to remind ourselves that this trade is going to be very sensitive during these decisions. But in my opinion, if the Bank of Japan disappoints us and they don't do anything, dollar yen probably attempt 151, right? Then you have the Federal Reserve dot plots, which is going to get released. And what are the dots? The dots is where the Federal Reserve members put a dot on where they see rates in the future, right? Their forward guidance, right? So that often drives market expectations. Because if Fed members are positive, if Fed members are enthusiastic, that shows they see further growth. If they see a further slowdown, if they see inflation cooling down, if they see the likelihood that they're going to be cutting rates to cool the economy down, again, that's going to affect markets. So I'm looking at dollar yen now from an extremely long-term point of view on where this could be trading. Now, one of my first targets is the 2023 low. Pretty much 2022 low where we bottomed out. And we just had this rally throughout the entirety of 2023 on dollar yen. Again, I'm now looking for the next move. I'm looking for where this could be trading in 9 months if what I'm expecting unwinds. We know in the past the yen, and I'll actually like to show you this on pound yen in particular. Let's get rid of any drawings we have on there. Not many actually, I erased it the other day. I want you to look at the market back in 2008. Look at how the market crashed in 2008. Very similar price action to that of the S&P, by the way. Go to the S&P, go to 2008, go do your own research there. And look at how the yen got bought when we had the global financial crisis. Again, the yen is quite often known as a safe haven currency. People can park their money there. There isn't much volatility, but we've seen extreme volatility 2022, 2023. Again, I'm looking at this now and I'm asking myself, if we have another global recession, if there is constant threats of World War III, at some point, if no one wants to trust the dollar, what are they going to be trusting? The Swiss, right? The yen, gold, silver, probably Bitcoin, maybe. Is Bitcoin the next alternative? So looking at that of dollar yen, Again, you can go back to dollar yen. 2008 as well, had a bit of a dive to the downside there. In my opinion, the move on the majors on pound and euro yen was a lot larger. We had an extremely big sell-off to the downside. Again, yen was getting bought as the alternative. So I'm looking at this up at 150 and I'm asking myself, if the roles reverse, if the Bank of Japan raise interest rates for the first time in 17 years, right? The last time they raised rates was back in 2007. Okay, look at what happened with with dollar yen back in 2007. There it is, 2007. Right, just look at the bottom, yeah. 2007. There we go. Massive sell-off. Again, I got to look at this and I got to ask myself, fine, do I want to be buying dollar yen at 150? Not a chance. Is there an opportunity for this to trade into 128 at the very least? Just put that level back, excuse me, there we go. Is there an opportunity for this to trade back at 128, if not lower? 100%. Maybe not 100%. Let me correct myself there. There's a high probability that, in my opinion, I'm going to correct myself there, that this will trade much lower. I want to use that to my advantage. So folks, I'm not going to get too wrapped up on the intraday price action, but I just want to remind you, this coming week, if you're watching this week, if you're watching this after the fact, that's completely fine too. The 19th of March, 2024, the Bank of Japan have the interest rate decision. It's going to be early hours of the morning. I think it's like 2 a.m. my time, so Wednesday morning pretty much. But then you also have, on Wednesday, you have the Fed on the 20th. I think those two events are going to be a key catalyst for this pair. And I do think by the end of next week, pretty much 1 week from now, this is a Sunday I'm shooting this, but you are going to see, and I can do an update on where we are on this trade, because I think it's so crucial. And I personally think, folks, in my opinion, this is going to be my trade of 2024. But I hope this provided some value for you. Again, smash that like button, drop a comment if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click the link in my bio. I have a free Telegram and I have launched a 7-day workshop. You can go ahead and get that free. Just comment the word workshop underneath this YouTube video and I'll make sure you get access. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next video. Peace out.